Lincoln and Blackhawk. The rations pictured here symbolize those issued to Lincoln's men. Individual rations included corn, flour, salt, salt pork, soap, candles, flints, and lead to make bullets. Because the troops were on foot, provisions were kept light. It was expected that these men, hunters and fishermen, would forage for their own meat. Common supplies issued to a company of about 30 men were tin buckets, coffee boilers, tin pans, and cups. Whiskey was a part of the rations. Rowdy volunteers were said to have descended upon commissionaries demanding, "Damn the fat back." Where's the whiskey? Provisioning these troops was perhaps the best handled aspect of the Black Hawk War effort. Abraham Lincoln and his men were among the 1,500 or so volunteers who had poured into Beardstown for basic military drills. These men had answered Governor John Reynolds' call to drive Blackhawk and his people out of Illinois. The military camp was spread out through this part of Beardstown, now known as Schmolt Park. During that brief time of military camp, young boys and old men spent their dark days keenly watching the citizen soldiers train. Young ladies, no doubt, also flirted with the volunteers. Lincoln's company and the other mounted units rode north from Beardstown on April 29, 1832. They expected a fight, but as it turned out, none of them saw any action. They were discharged on May 27th at Ottawa. However, Lincoln re-enlisted twice, but now as a private. He will later comment, "I was out of work, and there being no danger of more fighting, I could do nothing better than enlist again." Lincoln's service finally came to an end on July 10th. He received $110 for his service, plus an enlistment bonus of $14, returning to New Salem in time to wage his first political campaign. When Abraham Lincoln's military service ended on July 10th, he intended to ride home with George Harrison. Their horses, however, were stolen. They traveled to Peoria with Captain Jacob Early's company, riding part of the way thanks to their friends. At Peoria, they purchased a canoe, stopping at Pekin, where Lincoln fashioned an oar, and Harrison bought supplies. They continued, with one pulling the oar while the other steered. They were later invited onto a raft for a hot meal of fish, cornbread, eggs, butter, and coffee. They reached Havana on July 17th, sold the canoe, and set off to New Salem by foot. Harrison wrote, "The long strides of Lincoln, after slipping back in the burning sand 6 inches every step, were just right for me, and he was greatly diverted when he noticed me behind him stepping in his tracks to keep from slipping."